Hi there, Frank Thacker here, and welcome to the Daily Peacemaker. I'm going to start us off today with a little story tale, I guess you could call it. It's called The Tale of Two Wolves, which I would suspect many, if not most of you, have heard about. And there's different names for it, and it comes out of the indigenous people. Some say it started with the Cherokees, but I mean, it's almost secondary from whence it came. But it's a tale of a grandfather and his grandson. And the grandson is walking with the grandfather, and he asks the one, how come people are so mean to each other? And the grandfather says, well, let me sit you down for a minute. And he said, basically, inside of us, there are two wolves fighting for our attention. Um, One is evil, and the grandfather goes on to sort of describe it. It's envious, it's greed, it's all about me, it's destroying the earth for my benefits, it's disrespecting anybody that disagrees with me, a lot of anger, arrogance, all those types of things. And he said the other one is good. And again, he goes on to describe it. It's full of compassion and goodness and peace and love and wanting to work with other people and being cooperative rather than the evil one of competition and taking care of the earth, respecting the earth. And those two wolves is what they're called in the story, are inside of us fighting for our attention. So the kid sits there and then he says, well, Grandpa, who wins? Which one's going to win? And of course, the grandpa says, the one that you feed the most. And so if we take that story and put it over here with the news, good news, bad news, and there's a lot of bad news that you see in the main media, newspapers, the TV news, even on a lot of the social platforms, all the bad stuff that's going on. And it's full of a lot of that stuff that Grandpa talked about, the arrogance and the greed and the power over and the killing of people and wars and all that stuff, and that's inside all of us, that desire to do some evil things. And then on the other side is the good news. So the problem with the good news, or the problem I find, is it's a little bit hard to find compared to the bad news. Because, like I said, on TV, newspapers, magazines, social platforms, a lot of bad news, and that's you click on that, and or you turn on the TV and you see the nightly news, and it's full of a lot of sad, bad, angry stuff. For the good news, you have to search a little bit deeper, not much deeper, but there's tons of good news going on. For example, there's a thing called a Peace Poll Project. It's just ordinary people getting together to plan a peace poll, which is basically a poll that says, may peace prevail. There are over their literature says 250,000, and the literature's a little, I bet you there's close to 300,000 of those around the globe that have been planted by ordinary people like you and I. There's the International City of Peace. There are over 400 international cities of peace. And what is a city of peace? It's a city or a territory, whatever you want, where people have come together to work for peace. And a lot of that involves education, healthcare, setting up healthcare centers. There's just tons of those around. People doing stuff like that. There's get this. There is the Rotary has a action group for peace, And when I first heard about the Rotary, I thought, oh, they're like business people. But it's their second. Polio was their first challenge to get rid of polio. Their second biggest endeavor is to work for peace. They have 7 peace academies across the globe, and it's a school where you go for 2 years, and you have to, when you come out of that, you are committed to go and work in a particular area uh, to create a culture of peace, which is one in which everybody has their basic needs and conflicts are solved nonviolently, and people are working together and helping each other out. And there's disagreements, yeah, but you don't go and shoot somebody because they disagree. So there's just tons of that stuff. There's groups like Unify or Global Peace Tribe, I think it's called, where you can sign up and you get a newsletter. I know, yeah, people get tons of newsletters um, in their email. It can get overwhelming at times, granted. But again, it's one of those things where it lets you know of all the good things going on. There are webinars and Zoom conferences and workshops that you can join in, or conferences that you can listen to. And excuse me for just a minute. So, going back to that original thing, bad news, good news. A number of people I know have taken to not watching the news as much, sort of because it's so um, uninspiring, and it can really suck the life out of you. And so they've stopped doing it, or they watch it just a little bit, which is good, but it still leaves a vacuum if you don't go over here and start to feed yourself with the good news. Yes, it's wise to keep an eye over here as to some of the terrible things that are going on, but you can get lost in that, and it just can really make you so hopeless and depressed. And it's just like, oh man, I don't want to do nothing but go hide in my easy chair and have a cigar or drink or something, and just don't bother me. But if you go over and find the good news, and it's out there. As a matter of fact, to put a little plug in here, if you go to the dailypeacemaker.com, we have a website, dailypeacemaker.com, and there's a drop-down menu, and one of the pages is resources and links. And there's some really good stuff on there that you can just check out. You just have to go there and click, and it'll bring you up to like the International Cities of Peace and some other one. You can look at them and see what you see, and maybe you might want to sign up for some, because again, it's that what's going to win. It's the one that you feed. And so if you feed yourself with bad news, like we said, you're going to like kind of lose energy. But if you feed yourself with the good news, you're going to get inspired. You're going to get energized. You're going to realize all the good stuff that is happening across the globe. And there's just tons of it. There's a lot of stuff on ecology and all the good things that are being done to preserve the earth, or take good care of the earth. And it's, yeah, you got to do a little work to find it, but not much. I mean, you can Google anything. So there's just a lot of stuff. And I guess the point is, what are you going to feed? You're going to get sucked into the bad news, or you're going to do the good news, get energized, get your spirit going. You might find yourself so taken with all the good stuff that's going on that you might want to get involved in some of it. So it's definitely a choice. like Grandpa said, whichever one you feed is the one that's going to what's the right word? Take over. It's the one that's going to inspire you or deaden you, or um, it's the one that's going to energize you, or the one that's going to de-energize you. So, choice is up to you. So, with that in mind, I hope you do check the Daily Peacemaker and check that resource page out and see what you can find. You might find some stuff that you really like. So, there it is. Choice is up to you, as they say. So, thanks for listening. As always, good to be with you. Take care and let us walk in peace and harmony.